guys, so I just finished adding fresh compost to these plants there. All I did was I pulled back the mulch, hit them up with some fresh compost for my garden there. Um, these plants here, earlier last season, after I did my last harvest off of them, I gave them a nice prune back. They have come back strong, and they got a lot of new, nice, beautiful new growth on them, and they're loaded. They're loaded with buds on them right now. So it looks like this year again. I may have a decent harvest this season from the blueberries. One thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you get a lot of different types of blueberries. You don't want to have all the same type of a blueberry. It's just because the blueberries they fruit at different stages. Some of them fruit early, some of them fruit late, right? And some of them are in between. So you want to have a lot of different types of varieties, so you always have that fruit coming in, okay? Because don't forget, you're going to be battling with the birds as well. And you can't cover everything. You can't cover everything on your property. So when you have a big garden, it's just tough, trying to cover everything. And I gave up on that. I'm not covering anything anymore. Just letting life take its course. You know what I mean? If the birds can eat them all before I can get my share, then let it be. I don't think that's the case. I think that the bull will be out here just as greedy as the birds, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get my fair share of my blueberries. So make sure that you get a lot of different varieties, that you prune them when you need to prune them. Just wait after you harvest all your blueberries, then you can prune them, and then you will get a new growth of branches that will go through the year, and so the next following year you'll be able to get a lot of fruit and spurs from them, and you can get a lot of blueberries. So I got this year. Last year was a little slower than the previous year. The previous year I got a lot of blueberries. Last year was mediocre. This year I'm thinking that it's going to be nice. I'm seeing a lot of buds on these bushes, and I think that's from the pruning that I gave them last year. So yeah, so just keep up with it. One thing also is you want to make sure that you just don't listen to everybody out there. You know what I mean? Yeah, check your videos out, pick up a little knowledge from everybody that you can, but there's nothing like you got to store a lot of this stuff that you do in your garden. You're the one that invests your money into these plants. You're the one that's going to take care of your garden. If you're going to be a productive gardener, you got to be out there putting the time in and the effort into building up your food forest. Let's call it a food forest. If that's what you want to have all kinds of different plants and whatnot, you got to put the time in and know that you got to feed them, that you got to prune them, and that you got to water them, and that you have to maintain the time with these plants, okay? So there's nothing like your own knowledge. Don't just go out and, Joe Smo says do this, you go out and do that, and your plant's dead next week. You know what I mean? So, be your own inventory, be your own study of what you do, because ultimately you're responsible for your garden, okay? So anyway, that's it with the blueberries. So I'm going to move on to today. I want to get a lot of these little garden beds that I did out here. I have a lot of different pots out there that have different types of has cabbages, has lettuce, and all kinds of other different types of seedlings that I want to get into the ground. So let me go ahead and get some of them to the ground. Come on with me and enjoy a little bit of garden time with the bull. Now this is my snow white angel peach. If we do not have a frost that kills all my flowering buds there, we're gonna have a massive harvest of peaches. Now this here is my apricot tree. Last time when I pruned all my trees, I forgot to prune her. And like I always say, I want to keep my trees at about no more than 8 feet, but I want to keep them around, 6.5 to 7 feet, and they'll grow up to, 8, 9 feet, and I'll cut them back. I want to keep them around that height there because you can still get a nice production of fruit and not having to be climbing up no trees. Now this is a tree in its own right here. It's a good 3.5 feet of branches there. You don't need all that on your tree there to don't need all this here, you know what I mean? You want to centralize your tree there so your tree will be manageable and you can still get a lot of fruits from your trees there without it being outrageous and that you can't keep up with. And then when you can't keep up with it, you lose interest in the tree. And once you lose interest in your tree, there comes all the diseases and everything else that will kill your tree and just bring bugs and spread from that tree to the other trees. So when you don't take care of one tree, don't forget, you don't take care of this tree, you're not taking care of none of your trees. All right, ain't this fun? I mean, there's no more fun that you can have than to being out in your own garden, doing what you love, and taking care of your investments so that you can get a nice payoff at the end of the season, which is in vegetables, fruits, berries, whatever you're growing and stuff. It's just, there ain't a better fun than this. There's some of my beets growing there. Men, eat your beets. Give you a lot of stamina. The garlics are looking really good. I've noticed over the this past week, they're starting to thicken up. The stems are looking nice and thick. And putting it on leaves coming up, looking really good. Here in this garden bed, I put some bulbin onions. I put those in over the winter time, and you can see they're this past week, so they started shooting through the soil and coming up. In this garden bed, everything's looking kind of weak right now because yesterday I planted some broccoli. This is the lieutenant broccoli, and I put in some onions. So I'm growing some broccoli and onions there together. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? And over here, of course, we can't wait for the weather to warm up. Sometime around late April to early part of May, we will get the cantaloupe, the melons in over here, and hopefully we will have a huge harvest of cantaloupe. What I'm gonna do in this area over here in 3 sections. This section here, section over there, and the section right behind me. I'm gonna build 3 trellises, but these trellises are not are gonna just be about yay high. I'm gonna dig these like this, just about These are about what, 3.5 feet maybe. I'm gonna dig them into the ground for about maybe 1.5 feet. So these things are gonna stand up about 2 feet off the ground, and I'm gonna build the trellis just about 2 feet off the ground, and then the trellis is gonna be, running on the top, not upward, but on the top. The trellis is gonna be laying flat on the top, about 2 feet off the ground, and I'm gonna have cushaw squash growing on the top there. Gonna look sweet growing up there like that. So that's the plan on that, and I'm gonna put some other squash down there. Maybe the kibosh squash. I'm gonna grow over there the same way, and then behind me there'll be some other type of squash. I'm not sure exactly which one's gonna be. They have quite a few, so it'll be one of them anyway. And some of them may have 2 different types on it, so we'll see how it goes. And I forgot to mention, the reason I want my cushaw squash to be growing like this, because they can spread out, right? And because they have big vines and they're gonna grow long, so they can grow all they want, all up there, right? But I want to keep them off the ground. Once you keep them off the ground, you're less chances of getting bugs to crawl up into them and ruin your squash. So that's the reason I want to have them off the ground. I don't want to trellis them up a big trellis. I could do that, but I'm not. I'm going to grow them this way, and I just wanted the idea is just to get them off the ground, so that way, the bugs can go find something else to eat. Over here you can see my mustard greens. I have harvested off these mustard greens several times already over the winter. They've been producing really nice. Then down at the end here we have our black seeded lettuce, and I'm about to, any day now, probably tonight, I might have a salad from those black seeded lettuce. Already looking good. Next year, I'll start these tomato plants a little later. I started these like in December. Maybe it was a little bit too early. So next year I'll start them around in January. So that way they won't be this big by time, because they still got a good month before I can get them into the ground. So yeah, I'll start them a little later. I was, I was getting itchy. You know how it is. Okay, over here in these garden beds here, I have some cabbages and different types of lettuce. You really can't see them because they're really small right at the moment. There, like, let me show you a few. See them right down there? But it won't be long. Those will all be nice big lettuce and cabbages soon. Okay guys, so it's way too early to get zucchinis and crookneck squash in the ground, right? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna we're gonna load this side over here with some lettuce, and we're gonna put some cabbages on this side here all the way down. Ain't no sense of having this bare like this. We need to get something in the soil, so we're gonna keep it growing. So it's gonna be zucchinis on this side here and crookneck squash on this side here. Come around May 1st, we'll get those into the ground. So for right now, we wanna go ahead and get these lettuce in the ground. I'm not going to do that right at this moment, but next time you come back and you see these garden beds, they'll be loaded up with the cabbages and the lettuce. Now I have those right now because I'm growing everything from little seedlings that I'm growing right here at the Bull's Garden. Now you see all those containers, they're just loaded with little seedlings. So we're gonna, those are the seedlings I'm gonna go ahead and get planted up in here, and next time you see them, they'll be they'll have some size to them. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna go ahead and leave it here. I love yous, And you all take care of yourselves and keep doing what you love to do, whatever it may be.